August 29th, 2022. Everybody should have received the minutes. I went ahead and changed the agenda the way it's set up a little bit because it did have a consent agenda. I started that years ago when I was on the board to try to condense some of the reports down so we could approve them all at once. But a lot of these are kind of important, and I don't think it's going to take up a ton of time, but it'll provide more information than if we keep it in consent agenda form. So for this, I've changed it. We can always change it back if it doesn't work. So everyone should have received the meeting minutes. I will entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Gary. Do I have a second? Second. Thanks. All in favor? Oh, we can't do it.
Oh, you
sorry.
just did it. You were not.
Sorry,
I was like,
okay.
you're looking at me.
I messed up. Okay, we'll wait on that.
I'm here.
There she is.
All right.
We can
There
vote
we
now.
go.
We'll start over.
We can do the work stuff.
Sorry about that. So, do we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 25th, 2022?
I guess I'll motion again.
Thank you, Gary. Do I have a second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. That motion carries. Treasurer's report.
Give me a second, I'll put it up.
I have it on paper if you want.
That would be great.
Okay. Or I did. There you go. She's fast.
Perfect. All right, in our checking, we have $60,463.13. Savings is $41,204.36. We have one CD that matures in January of 23 for $6,541.63, and then one that matures this December for $6,559.10. With a total of $114,768.22.
Thank you, Amy. Do I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report? Thank you, Jenny. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Gary, second. All in favor? Thank you. Opposed? That motion carries as well. One thing to consider, we have 2 CDs that are going to be maturing in December and January. So the Finance Committee, when we meet, will have to make a decision about whether we continue to put money into a CD with such low interest and having it tied up in that, put it in savings, or what other options there are. So something to bear in mind. Okay, Andrew, Director's Report.
All right, and to go on along those lines, I think there's also some night CDs that maybe had matured and we didn't renew them, if I remember right, or one of them coming up. And so I'd like Aaron to talk with the Finance Committee as well. I think the committees will be very busy over the next few months because I'd like to kind of reactivate those and get them started. There's a number of things I think we need to try to tackle and consider. So look for that coming.
I do remember that about nights. We had one mature. When did that
We
mature?
did put it in savings, and you said wait until.
Till
Yeah.
everybody gets settled.
Yes, and then we can
meet
decide what
and
to do.
decide.
Yeah.
I'm looking at our report too, and we have something with Riverfest that matures in January. So we'll have to talk about that, and Jeff, if you want to be involved.
There's some
with that.
already that we're waiting on now. There's actually 3 of them, and one of them we're waiting on.
Right,
The others just sitting there.
yeah, so the one in January, we should probably look at that too,
Yeah.
when we look at everything else.
I
Thank you
think
for that
everything
reminder.
should go in a CD long-term right now.
You think they should?
I think they should not. I think that should be held out to see what's going on before, unless the market moves, to hold that money in a savings account until, depending on what we're spending money on.
Yeah, tying it up in something with such little return for so long may not be wise,
I
so,
don't think it's a good decision.
yeah.
Well, I've been on board for just about a month now, and I don't want to read everything that I sent out as far as a report, because you can read through that. But a couple exciting things I want to point out. Riverfest was fantastic. Had a great turnout. We're still working through the numbers. I can go through some of that from Aaron later in the meeting, but I just want to thank all of the volunteers and the committee for all their hard work. I get to see it up close and personal over the weekend, and it was fantastic. One example of taking our visitor experience to the next level that we kind of did last minute was for the vans that we picked up. We put together a little bag that had a visitor guide, had a bottle of water, and it had a granola bar and a Rice Krispie. For the people that were getting off the plane, we thought they're going to want something to snack on, and they can browse through the visitor's guide as they ride back to Madison. So just those are the types of opportunities that I want to look for to raise the experience level for whether it's a vendor for Chautauqua, whether it's a visitor, those kinds of things that make them go, wow, they really appreciated us being here. So did that, look forward to trying to fit that into some other opportunities that we have. In addition to a lot of the day-to-day tasks and kind of catching up that I'm doing, trying to meet with everybody that I can. Jefferson County Board of Tourism members, I'll be reaching out to all of you to meet as well, just to get your thoughts on where we're going as an organization and hear your ideas and take that into account as we're trying to chart a path forward. I've had a quick meeting with Lindsay Blues, who worked on some strategic planning for the organization, gosh, what was that, January, February of this year, and trying to get an idea of what came out of that and where maybe we need to go. So I'll be working through that over the coming months. Had a couple meetings that I wanted to highlight, talking with Lanier Mansion, and I will be meeting with the state, talking about what the current relationship looks like between Visit Madison and the state. And I think there's some really cool opportunities to refresh this area and the whole building. I think Marnie's interested in that from the state side of things, to really make it a nice experience for our visitors. Obviously, it's clean, it's nice now, but it doesn't scream Madison. And I want that to be something that they walk in and are wowed by it. Updating some of the photos. I mean, some of those photos, I talked to somebody, I don't know if it was Lucy or somebody else, that said they knew some of the kids in that, and Julie said those kids are like in their 20s now. So some of those things just need to be updated, and it doesn't cost a whole lot, but it's just how visitors see us and how we see ourselves. And I had a great meeting with Hanover College today. I think there's some real opportunities with prospective students, with prospective professors, faculty there, as far as us marketing the community, and for them to market Madison to alums to get back. So I'm going to try and build on that. We have a lot of committee work coming, and I will be reaching out to all the committees, trying to get those meetings scheduled, from finances to strategic planning to some personnel things. I'll just know that I'll be reaching out later this week to try and get those committee meetings set up. And then a few, in my report I include some things that I'm excited about. Working on a couple conferences, small conferences for 2023 already. And those are some of the small conferences I'd like to really build on for weekdays especially. Wanting to take a look at our visitor guide. I already had some early conversations with Sarah about maybe can we diversify some of our revenue by doing some different offerings for businesses with the visitor guide. So stay tuned on that. We got to work out some of the details, but I think it could be really exciting for our local businesses and for us. Also having a lot of conversations about youth sports tourism. I think that's an area that we're not taking advantage of. I think it's another tool in our toolbox. I don't want to get too focused on any one aspect of tourism, because I think we can pigeonhole ourselves and have some real issues there. But I think it's an opportunity that we can work on taking advantage of, and that's something that I'll be exploring over the coming months. And then a survey that will be going out to people that bought tickets through Eventbrite, to people that attended Riverfest, trying to get some demographic information, trying to learn what did they like, what did they not like, So we're formulating that survey and hope to have that sent out before the end of the week. Just trying to get as much data as possible from people. So that's probably already went on too long with that, but there's just a lot of exciting things going on. So that's my report.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Andrew? Thank you for kind of hitting the ground running.
Yeah,
It's been really
it's-
nice. It's exciting what we can get done.
It is.
Sarah is not here today. She is recovering from an illness, so she did send out a marketing report. So look over that. I think it was sent at the real late hour, but it's okay. Just look over that, and if you have any questions, call her, email her when she comes back to work. I don't have a date. You don't know.
Maybe later this week. It kind
Yeah.
of depends.
Yeah.
She'd like to. She's itching to get back in.
Yeah.
We're trying to tell
She's
her.
not used to being sick.
Yeah,
We're trying
yeah.
to
Trying to
make
tell
her
her to-
lay low.
Yeah, relax and rest.
Yeah.
The other thing that she didn't add on there, she wanted me to mention, she's working with the city on updating the kiosks. So that'll be something important. I think we want to get going pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's a major change. Instead of listing the shops, we're doing QR codes. That will link it back, so if shops change,
Yeah.
you don't have to change the maps.
Yeah, I think that's
It'll
very
be more
nice.
modernized.
So this is all wayfinding kiosks, right? And
Yeah, for the
and
visitor
QR
experience.
codes.
So she's a great designer. We just have a couple more edits and then I think we're good to go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Meet with her.
And it'll have a consistent look then with our visitor guide, and I think that's important, having the consistency of branding.
Yeah. About 12 years ago, the wayfinding signage was developed by this organization. So it's really cool that we're still involved in helping make that happen. It's probably a little overdue. That's okay. It's getting done.
Yeah.
And that QR code, that'll certainly make it a lot easier and cost effective
Oh,
for
yeah.
everybody.
And I think
That's
while
nice.
while we're talking about wayfinding, you may have noticed those purple signs, they were done, gosh, 10 years ago. It was they were starting to come on board January
I think you were
12th.
working on them when you
Yeah,
were with the
yeah,
city.
yeah. So-
Yeah, so it's been about 10 years. They're showing some wear, but I
Yeah.
think it needs to be part of a conversation about all of our wayfinding in the community and our branding. It may be about time to take a look at that. And, I mean, 10 years, I still think the branding is still fairly fresh, but it may be time to have that conversation about what that looks like going forward. So that may be some work that I'll have the committee take a look at too.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry, that jumped into Sarah's
Hey,
report
that's
too.
okay, that's okay. We have no old business. Under new business, I've been helping Carrie Hinsey with Chautauqua and trying to get things done. And they're a month out and it's almost here. And one of the jobs that I was tasked with was helping to find volunteers for days. So I'll be on the lookout for an email, probably email you guys and see if you're available and know people that are. So that's my new business. Anybody have, do you have new business? So I'll send an email out to you guys. for
Yeah,
that.
it's just the Chautauqua volunteer opportunities. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So we have a report. Aaron gave a written report to Andrew, so he's going to share that with us.
Yeah, she gave me
Riverfest.
a written report. I've asked her to come next month because we'll have a more full idea of the finances. Still, money's coming in and going out right now, trying to get everybody paid and collecting the ticket revenue and all that. But she said it was a hit. She said on Saturday, we had the brief intermission with the storms. Honestly, that came up quickly. It was a little scary for a few minutes because we were watching on the radar. It all appeared to be over in Kentucky. It was heading due east, and then all of a sudden the clouds just billowed north, and the wind picked up. It was a little bit scary for a moment, but everybody recovered well. The committee again did an amazing job, and then mopping. And then we still were able to get the headliner on, and it ended up being a great event. Aaron said security, G-men, and committee members were all hands on deck, showing this great town the love and compassion to keep the show going, orderly and secure. The crowds were great, but we do recognize the need for more vendors next year. There were a few issues with that, some within our control, some that weren't. And so she said initial plans for this year's vendors had a few unanticipated roadblocks, but we're already planning for that next year to make sure it doesn't happen again. So she hopes to get a final report coming soon. She thought the 20th anniversary was a fantastic event, even with the weather the way it was. So we'll look for a full report at the end of next month.
Do we have an attendance number, a tentative?
Yeah,
or-
preliminary,
Right.
you have the.
We have-
bands.
We have tentative, yeah.
Around 45 to 4,700.
Yeah.
What did you say?
45 to 47, I think.
What was it last year?
About 35, 37.
So at least we're up, that's good.
But the
Head the right
sales,
direction.
the sales relative to people was off the hook. I mean, we've had 8 to 10,000 people in there multiple times, and we sold more beverages by 20% than we'd ever sold before.
Yeah.
So it was well received.
The tickets were flying out. And we had great walk-up sales too, to the gates. And I really think the headliner brought a lot of people out both nights. They said the Friday night crowd was looking
It was,
about like,
again, the same thing. It
Yeah.
was more sales on
Yeah.
Friday night than we ever had on a Friday.
it looked like a Saturday night crowd on a lot of
Yeah.
events.
Like I said, we've had a lot more people, but not the sales.
The band committee did a great job.
They did. They sure did. Oh, yeah.
That
What
was
do you say?
amazing.
Those are $100 tickets both nights. We'll address that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that, there's a lot of things I think we need to take a look at, venues being one of them, ticket prices another, and a few logistical things. But overall, I mean, the committee's done a great job of getting it into a good rhythm, but I think there's things that we can take a look at every year and say, is it having the intended effect? Should we change it up? We don't just keep doing things just to do them.
Yeah.
So,
We've changed every year and we'll continue to do so.
yeah, credit to the committee.
It is. Chautauqua, we don't have a representative here, but I can touch on a couple of things. They have, last year they had 140 artists. I think this year it's 160, so it's heading in the right direction too. Their suite number is around 200, and they feel very comfortable with that. They have all their food vendors picked out, all their entertainment is set up. A lot of things are going really, really well. Carrie Lindsay is a 1099 employee for VMI to make sure that happens and is executed. And the old MOU included assistance from VMI. Of course, we've dissolved that because both ends of it we weren't getting anywhere, and we're trying to create something new, and hopefully in 2023 we'll figure out what that looks like. But right now it's called working together without an official contract of any kind, and it's working well. So Tiffany is still providing a lot of financial assistance and helping out, and she and Kara Schaefer have gone over how they both do things on both ends, so there's a really good checks and balance for that, so that's working out really well. Sarah's been doing marketing because she actually has a budget to work with, because JCPT awarded $40,000 to Chautauqua. It's the first time Chautauqua has ever asked for money, ever. I think they asked for 50 and they were awarded 40. So 15,000 of that goes towards marketing. 10,000 is hospitality, and I don't remember the rest right offhand. I have it in my notes, but it's good stuff, and they're willing to work with Board of Tourism. They're supplying all their receipts and documenting everything that they do, so that everything, dot their I's and cross their T's, so it's a good thing. So we just need to get some volunteers for that weekend. So, anybody have anything about anything at all? No? Okay, public comment, anything, anyone?
Have to write this down.
Okay, Now, just a general statement, these meetings, I see them as just a reporting mechanism, like we just come in and talk about everything going on, how it's been going, where we need to go moving forward. If you guys are okay with that, I'd like to keep doing it that way. If not, we can have working sessions and work during these meetings too. What do you think? Yep, for just reporting and knowing what's going on.
It doesn't take everybody, well, we break off in the group when we do the other work anyway, so it's not everybody that's involved, just
Right.
pick groups to tackle specific items and do it externally here.
That's right.
And then we come back and report.
Yeah. So it's okay with the way we're doing it?
I see some really heavy, I know I've said this a few times, but I see heavy lifting for some of the committees over the next few months, so.
Okay. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be here, but this will be a place to report.
Yeah, definitely report and,
Okay.
and get the word back out to everybody, and of course have conversations if the rest of the board has an issue with something that the committee has come up with, but I think that way we don't have to go through all the detailed discussions in the meetings when you can have a smaller committee work on that, work out all the kinks, and then bring it back.
Right. One thing in your packet, we have the innkeeper's tax collection, and that report is there for you guys to take a look at. We're up over 40% from last year, and last year was a record year. So I'm sure we're on target to have a very good year. Innkeeper's tax is our #1 KPI. It lets us know if we're on the right track and doing the right stuff here. So that's in your packet to take a look at when you want to. And if you have any questions, all this data collection is done by Sarah. So either Andrew or Sarah, you can reach out to them. I'm not so good at that, so I'm glad they're good at that. So if there's nothing else, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Tina. Do I have a second?
Be it.
She's pretty quick. Thank you, Jen. All in favor? Thank you.